All right, so now we're here to talk about step 3, which isn't too difficult. Just kind of some details we need to get out, and we have to run it through a special program in order to get the correct file. So in step 2, you created a screenshot that showed your mass properties, and then attached that to the assignment, and also exported an STL file. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use that STL file that we used in step 2, and we're going to slice it up in this thing called the Dremel print cloud, and then we're going to save a .G3DRE file, okay? And that's basically a G-code file specific to Dremel, okay? And I'm going to walk you through how to do all that. So the first thing, let's kind of check out our assignment here. There's a video that I'd like you to watch before you do anything further with me. So if you haven't watched this one yet, that my mouse is on, pause this video, go back and watch that. They kind of do a nice job of explaining how their software works, and then come back and join us. So what you can do is you'll click on this link, and it will open it up to this website, printcloud.dremel.com, and this is what you're going to use. And you're going to click on Google to sign in, and then you want to use your Birch Run Schools email address account to sign in. Now I'm going to have a whole bunch of 3D prints on mine. These are the most recent ones I've done. You can see here it's a very long list of things that I've 3D printed. Yours is probably going to be pretty much blank, okay? And so what we're going to do here is we're going to hit Upload New, and we're just doing a single file project. And so now we want to choose our file, okay? And you have to find where yours is saved. I saved mine to the 3D printing files. And it was right up there, 3D print chain, Keychain project Grady. And so there's my AV1, gives me a nice little preview. And I'm going to hit open. And it says it's been successfully uploaded. So now I'm going to hit save and go to my files. And you can see it right here, okay? And so there it is. There's the STL file, says it's ready, okay? It gives me the date and the size and all that kind of thing. I don't think we'll need to do this repair step. That's if your model's got a hole in it, or for some reason that's got an error. We're going to go right to layout. So we're going to select layout. And now what you have is this blue rectangle here represents the bed of the 3D printer. And these yellow lines kind of represent the, what I want to say, like the box, the enclosure. And so that's kind of the space in which you could create a model. And we've got lots of options. So I'm rolling up and down on my scroll wheel, zooming in and out. If I push in on my scroll wheel, it kind of moves where the center is, okay? If I push on the right click button and hold it and move my mouse around, it orbits it up and down, kind of gives you a nice look at what's going on. And then if I use my normal left click button, I'm on the red line, I'm on the green line, I'm on the blue line, and I'm moving around the object in this whole thing, okay? So now's where it kind of gets important. We want this to be on the bed. So I'm going to click over here and get it right back down so the bottom of this 3D model is right on the bed. And I'm going to go ahead and also hit center, and so that it moves it to the center of the print bed. You don't have to do that. If you have a preference and you want to print it somewhere else, that's absolutely fine too. As long as it's not fully on the bed is all we care about. But I'm going to leave mine centered. You could rotate it and spin it, things like that. If for some reason it came in here upside down, you could rotate it and then go back and hit these buttons. If yours came in upside down, you could spin it this way. You could spin it any way you want. I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to hit reset. If you want to make a kind of really nice controlled spin, if it's fully upside down, this is the red one. You could go over here, and I could actually flip it 90 at a time and go all the way upside down. Mine came in the right way, so I'm all set there. You could also change the scale here, but we don't want to do that. We worked very hard to scale it in Fusion to get it to the right size, so we don't need to mess with that. That could be something if you need to do that later on. And so we're good here. There's some other stuff that we want to do here, that you could do here, but what we want to do is we want to go to the Save and Slice button. So we're going to hit Save and Slice, and you can see that I've kind of got this new project folder created. And when it's done, this will pop up. So there's the STL file, and right now what's opened up is this G3DRE file, okay? And so this is where we need to do some really important stuff here, okay? So we are going to be printing in PLA. So we want to look at these 4 things. Experimental is probably not where we want to be. Draft is a little closer. What was experimental? Standard. I'm just kind of checking some things out. Best. And so let me explain what this stuff changes. If you think back to our 3D printing video, the layer height is each layer that it builds up from there. And so the bigger the layer height, the rougher the image is going to be, right? The number of perimeters controls how thick you want the exterior wall. And then the infill density is how solid you want the interior of your keychain to be made, okay? And what we want to do here is, let's go with, I think we want standard, and all we're going to change is the infill. So we'll go standard, and our infill can go all the way down to 20. Oops. There we go. So this is exactly what you want. Take note of this. Standard, and then we're going to go 0.2, which is already set, 2 perimeter walls, which was already set, and then we're going to go infill density of 20. We don't need to have raft on there. Supports are good. Recentering object before slicing, you can leave that on because you probably already centered it. If for some reason you want it off, you can uncheck that one. But this is what we want to do. So then we're going to hit slice and toolpath preview. And so what I do when it hits this is it's actually going to convert it from the STL into G-code, which in their case is the G3DRE. So I click that and you can see that it's working, right? And here is my kind of preview window, if you will. I'm going to zoom this in. This is kind of neat to look at if you want. And it works the same way. So scrolling in and down, zooms in and out, pushing in on the scroll wheel and moving it around, recenters it, and the right click button, holding it down and moving it, orbits it. Okay, and so here's where we can see what we're talking about. So my whole keychain is only going to take 40 layers. And I can grab that and drag it down and you can see what each single layer looks like. So there's that first layer, second layer, and it builds and it builds and it builds, and there's the infill. So let's take a look at that. 20% infill creates these grids to give it some structure in the inside. And we did 2 walls, so there is 1 and 2 walls. And so all this would look very different had we changed those settings. But this will make it plenty strong for what we need to do. Alright, if you want to animate it, I think you could, and it will show how it's going to print. It's kind of a nice little preview of what it's going to do. It tells you how much filament it's going to do, how much it's going to take, and then also how long the print's going to take. This is just an estimation, but about 28 minutes. And so we're good with all of this, right? And so what we want to do now is we're going to hit close. This was the original file I brought in. This was the file that this program started to edit, this STL, and it created this 3G3DRE file. All right, and so what we want to do is we want to go back into this preview where we just were, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to get it nice and big on my screen, and then this is what we want to take a screenshot of for our assignment. So this is kind of the first half of step 3 of this, all right? So now let's go ahead and get our snipping tool. And all we need to do is hit new. And let's just get this window. I don't need every screen on there. Like that. File, save as. Yours will probably just save automatically. I'll put it to downloads. And what I'm going to do is Grady 3D print, and then I'm going to add slice preview. That's what I'm going to call this. Alright, so now that's saved. And so that's what I can turn in for part 1 here. A screenshot of your keychain design in the Dremel Print Cloud site. And so slicing your STL, right? So that's the preview showing that I'm kind of doing this right, okay? And now how do we get to the next part? So now we can close that back out. And what you actually do is you're going to click right on this title of your 3G3DRE file. And when you do that, it's going to download that copy for you, okay? And I'm going to leave that alone. I'm just going to leave the title as it is. You may, actually I'm going to change it. I'm going to get rid of the Grady part, and I want Grady to be first. And that's simply so that I know on my 3D printer, when I see this first, I know I have the right file. Okay? And then save that to your same folder that you've been saving everything, downloads. So I'm going to save mine there. All right. And so now, when I look at my folder preview in the downloads folder, these are the three things, or excuse me, not three. These are the two things that I'm going to turn in for step 3. I want this ping file, which is a screenshot of, my slice software, right? And then the second one is the actual 3G3DRE file. Those two things are what I want to put on attach for this assignment, okay? And then once you get those done, go ahead and hit turn in, and you will be all set for this assignment. All right? Thank you.